nice copper coin, but oh, Doug, do you know what time it is?
45 up.
Who says 45 of, Doug? It's quarter after. What's up, guys? Hoarder here, and welcome to Quarter After, the super cool, super fun live stream where I'm alternating guests one week, just us the next week, which is this week. And today we're going to be talking about, oh man, I'm really excited. I even came up with a cool name after all the videos came out. I don't even know if the gang knows what I'm calling yet, but I'm calling this field the field where silver spoons go to die. Come on, how cool of a name is that? And right before the show started, Rich came in and said, "Hey Jay, is that AI you use? Here's the thumbnail. If you didn't see the thumbnail, I've used it before. I kind of liked it. I thought it was really cool. I like the contrast. That is not the Doug or Rich's hands, but believe me, it very well could have been. We found that much stuff at the field where silver spoons go to die." Before I bring everybody in, let me say a couple of quick hellos. Mike Kaplan, who was first. Thank you, Mike. Allegra Deej, I think is that a play on the allergy medicine? I'm not sure. Crazy Diggin, Treadwell Taxi, Dave Logan, Audrey Girlinghouse. How are you, Audrey? 5 Mile Relic Hunter. What's up, brother? Louisiana Mud Dog, Dave Link, Traladigs, Stephen Stark, Prairie Pirate, our good friend Dave, Scott Jund, Bethesda Ministries, DBA Chaplain for Change. Thank you very much for the super sticker. On the Mark, Silver Assassin. What's up, brother? NEPA History and Archaeology Search. If I didn't get to you, no guest tonight. We're gonna have some fun with it all night, so I make sure I'll do just that. I do want to do a couple of quick announcements before the show starts. First one, a little strange, but a friend of mine made something really cool. He sent it to me yesterday, and I wanted to show it. His name is John Bradley. Check this out. What's funny is the day before he sent this custom Garbage Pail Kid card, my wife and I were talking about these Garbage Pail Kids from when I was little. And then out of nowhere, John made this custom one for me. I thought it was pretty cool. I'm going to print a bunch of them out, and maybe I'll give some away. But if anybody out there wants one, John does make custom one, like a couple bucks. Give him $3 or so for his time, $4, $5. I thought it was really cool. I haven't seen one in a long time, so I did want to say thank you to John for that. And then I wanted to make an announcement of the next couple of weeks too, because we got some really fun shows coming up. So before I forget, next week, I'm sure you guys all heard of the show Expedition Unknown with Josh Gates. I was not able to get Josh Gates to come on. I'm trying. I messaged him 3 times, but I haven't heard anything back. But next week's episode, which airs on Wednesday night, will feature our good friends Ken King, Tony Frangella, and Jeff Lubert. They're going to be on the show this Wednesday night for a brand new episode, The Lost Grave of Buffalo Bill. I'll have Jeff, Tony, and our good friend Ken on the show next week talking about behind the scenes, what it's like working on a big television production, what got edited out that, didn't make the airwaves. Should be a lot of fun. So make sure you guys watch the show. It airs this coming Wednesday, 9:00 on the Discovery Channel. And then they'll be on quarter after next week. And we'll talk about all the fun stuff that happened. And then, whoops, I just messed that up. Hang on. And then 2 weeks later, I'm really excited about another really fun guest. Let me see if I can bring this one on. Let me fast forward a little bit in my little notes. I have on, I'm really excited, Don Wildman's coming on, who is the host of the Travel Channel, many shows. He's hosted Mysteries at the Museum, Beyond the Unknown, Buried Worlds, Monumental Mysteries, the list goes on and on. Really nice guy. I'm excited to have him on, talk about his adventures, his most favorite discoveries. That's going to be a really good one. So that'll be coming up in a couple weeks. Don Wildman. I'm really excited. So looking forward to him. Looking forward to Ken. Got some good guests coming up. We'll talk more about them later. But let me bring on one of tonight's guests, or, I don't know if you call him a guest or not. Mr. Dog Tag Doug, Mexican Doug, Jane Fondug. How are you, Dougie?
I'm good. Very
Doug,
good.
Look at Don Wildman coming on. We're swimming in the big fish now, Doug.
You already got a wild man.
That's true. That's true. I need a tamer man. That's what I need.
Okay.
I need a tamer man. But no, I'm excited. This week I was feeling excited. I was like, I want to try to reach out to some of these people that I've watched their shows, admired their work, that kind of a thing. And I remember watching several of Don's shows. He's a really good guy. He's captivating. I'm excited. Alicia is here. Hot Mess Fishing. How are you, Alicia? One of my moderators. So I read something earlier that she was having some sort of Facebook trouble or something. I don't know what happened. If her account got hacked or something, I'll have to find out later. But if you're having some issues, Alicia, I'm sorry to hear it.
And for everybody that's saying hello to me, hello, guys. How y'all doing?
Now, Doug, before I bring everyone else in the video that aired Tuesday, which we're not going into today.
Okay.
But in the video, you said if anyone knew how old you were in 54 when the dog tag was made, you'd give them a shout out.
Well, it's going to have to be a blanket shout out.
There was about 200 people.
I would say about 96% got it right.
Yeah.
And those that didn't were only a year off. So shout out to all of you. Most importantly, because you watched the videos. Thank you very much.
Yeah, you're going to get a lot of birthday cards this year, I think, Doug.
I doubt it. If you do, just send don't go to a lot of expense. Just send a blank check and I'll be happy.
Yeah, you accept money orders, right?
Oh, yeah. Are you kidding?
Let me bring in some more of the gang, Doug, so we can get this underway. We got a lot to go over today. So we'll bring in the enigmatic Charles, the Heritage Relic Hunter. How are you, Charlie?
Hi, how you guys doing? How's everyone doing?
Charlie said he was at the beach this week with Judy, and his feet almost melted off from the heat of the sand.
I was only at the beach one day out of this past week. I stayed at the pool. The beach was too hot, to be honest with you. The sand was awful.
Well, you're supposed to get in the water, Charlie.
Well, I did. I was in the water, yeah, but once you're out of the water, man, it was awful. But I had a great time. It was relaxing.
It was a perfect beach week.
It was. Yeah, it was. Yeah. Except for the sand. It was, if you had your chair, on the sand anywhere, it was boiling hot.
Yeah.
But I'm not complaining. I'm ready to go back anytime.
Okay.
We're having bad storms right now. I hope I don't get cut off like you guys did last week.
I was going to ask you that, Charlie, because just before I came logged on, I was watching the weather, and they said it was kind of hanging up in Berks County.
Yeah, it was pretty bad here, but it's quiet down now. But I think it just passed through now. It's done.
Okay.
Well, hopefully, it doesn't look too cloudy behind you, Charlie. But if it rolls in and we lose you, we'll all understand.
I believe it's good now. I believe it's all right. Yeah.
Let's bring in the bearded wonder too, who's sitting backstage, Mr. Rich Van Winkle. How are you, Rich? Well lit too. I like the lamp placement. I can see you this week.
Yeah, it's a little hard to see because the light's in my eyes, but I admit it looks better on the screen there.
Yeah, we can see you. Yeah, like
you should wear your shades, Rich, and then you'd really look cool.
Yeah, when Rich came in earlier, like before the show started, like Rich popped in and this is all I saw. And I'm like, Rich, are you there? Are you there? I said, Rich, put a lamp up.
Real quick, I do want to say to everybody in the chat that the past few weeks, including tonight, I'm doing this on my phone. So I'm not able to interact with the chat. So I'm sorry for anybody who asked me questions or says hi. I'm just not able to answer right now.
If I see anything directed towards you, I'm going to try to remember and put the thing up like that. Rich, hey Rich,
Hey,
from
Audrey.
Audrey Erlinghouse.
How are you?
I'll try to do that. It's I'm trying to work all the buttons and everything, so I can't guarantee I'm going to get to all of them.
No, you need to put up every message that mentions me. You need to put it up right away.
It's really a 2-person job. That's what makes it so difficult. And then last but not least, normally we would have the lovely Lindiana Jones, but she is away at the 2025 Letitz Antique Show in Warwick, Pennsylvania this weekend. Don't forget, Charlie, if you show up, she'll give you a signed autograph and take a picture with you. The whole
Not far
9
from
yards.
me.
What's that?
It's not very far from where I live.
That's right. So why don't you get in the car and head up to Letitz?
Maybe I'll do that.
But in place of Lynn, since we're doing the field where silver spoons go to die, you like that name, Doug?
Yeah, I was thinking more like the field of misfit spoons.
Yeah.
Or what about, since it is a little long, I like it a lot, but what about the silver spoon graveyard?
That's not bad. That's not bad. Where were you 3 weeks ago, Rich? We're done with this place now.
Well, you don't share this stuff with us until after the fact. So,
well, I mean, things pop in my head, Doug. That's part of the process.
I just thought of that tonight.
Oh, okay. Well, for at least for now, it's the field where silver spoons go to die because it sounds cool. Just sounds cool.
It does. It does.
Well, let's bring in another friend today who's going to join us, Midtone Matt, who has many of the finds at the field where silver goes to die. Whoa!
No, he just fell off the chair.
That's a new butt he's got.
I think I'm all right.
There
you
go.
We're better.
So I'm excited to have it.
Nice. As I'm running through.
Thank you for joining us, Matt. I appreciate it.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Very well lit. But let's jump into this, Doug. We got a lot of stuff, and it's not even every hunt there. The first couple of hunts, where you got the Roman coin and Charlie got the Liberty cap, we already covered that. So a lot of it's not even covered in today. It's just the last, 4 videos where we've gotten over 50 silver spoons and forks and coins and relics.
I have to say, I'm sure a lot of people were bored watching us dig silver spoons and other utensils, but it wasn't boring for us digging them, knowing that
almost every spoon you find is different, except for the really plain ones, but almost everyone is different, so it's fun. And
I kind of equate it to chess, Rich, or golf, where it's really fun to play, but it might not be fun to watch someone else play unless you, are make it fun because they're just spoons, but they're all sterling. They're all 100 years old. They're all different. Many were monogrammed. So it was really exciting to be out there finding them. Wouldn't you say, Charlie?
It was exciting. I was doing well when you guys changed my settings.
Yeah, that was one of the questions, and we're going to get into that today because there were some questions about the settings you're using, yada, yada, yada. I have some comments in the show tonight that I'll put up. And if anybody has any questions during the show, please put them up. I'll try to throw up on the screen. We'll answer it because after today, we're done with this field until the fall. We've already moved on. They've planted things. I'm sure we'll be back in the fall, but we're done with it at least for the next 7 or 8 months. So get your questions in now.
And he's Midtone Matt, but almost everything from this field we had to just dig high tones. Yeah. So really, he was high tone Matt for this.
What was the number again? We agreed on. We all had a number. Was it 45 or 48?
I'll get into that more a little bit when we get to that question, because we alluded in the videos how we were using new settings just for this field, And I had so many people comment and message of what these settings are. And I didn't talk about it in the video because these settings that we changed are settings that you don't want to normally use. It was very specific for this field. So we'll get into it when that comes up. But I wouldn't recommend it, for everyday use. And Treadwell Taxi, another question, which I wish I kept track of this. Have you figured out the troy ounce of all the silver you picked up? There was a lot of questions about that.
About 5 pounds.
It was an awful lot.
That's how much.
It's going to be really difficult to figure out at this point too, because we all brought it home. We gave a lot to the property owner. It's going to be difficult, but I don't know how much it was, but I wouldn't be surprised if it was over a pound of silver.
It was well over a pound. Well,
I think it was multiple pounds. I would say.
Well, that's a good question. What do you think one of those spoons whole weighed? Like the average,
I think it probably takes 3 or 4 spoons to make 1 ounce, and then 16 ounces. So you'd have to find, roughly 50 whole spoons or more to get a pound of silver.
We came close.
Down with pieces. I think 1 pound is a fair assessment. Maybe a little more, but I'd be really shocked if it was 5 pounds.
Yeah.
I think I came home with a pound.
I know.
I'm serious.
You know what? I still have the first bag from the first day. I can weigh it actually and just get an idea. I didn't do anything but spoons in it that day, so yeah.
Let's jump into some of them, and I'm going to try to pause it as we go because there was a lot. I'm going to try not to make this a 7-hour-long show, but there was a lot of really good things we're going to cover, Dougie. And these are in no particular order, and I don't even remember the order I put them in the show because I wanted it to kind of be a little nostalgic for me as well. I'm sure I'll remember everything, but these are not in the order that we found them. But this was the first notable one. This was found by Dog Tag Doug, I believe. Right, Dougie?
Yep.
Now, this, we didn't know what it was. Well, we just threw some guesses out. Doug thought it wrapped around a cake, which I still don't know what that means.
Well, just picture a wedding cake. With this is grape leaves and grape vines and grapes, and so it's meant to adorn something nice. So I'm thinking, okay, it was adorning a wedding cake, but I know I got cake on my brain, so
Yeah. Well, I really don't know. There was a really good guess that I was going with, which I think is in the next clip. I put it up. Oh no, that's the sterling silver mark on the back. I think these might have been handmade.
Yeah.
They just had that look to it that they could be handmade. And then the next clip, they were sprayed down, cleaned up a little bit. And there was a comment from Lou Manick Ken Jr., and I'm sure I butchered that. I'm sorry. He said the leaves are grapevines, typically would wrap around the neck of a nice bottle of wine or champagne. That seems to make sense to me, Doug, because the cake, I'm thinking if you're not paying attention, you cut into the cake, you damage the silver, maybe you accidentally eat a piece, but a wine bottle makes sense. What do you think, Doug?
Well, it's a pretty good guess, I would say. It's something ornate, and I'm sure it was with a special occasion, whatever the occasion happened to be. So a bottle of bubbly might fit in there. Champagne, Ron's digging the Midwest suggest, and I agree.
Oh, yeah. Hold on. What the heck? Okay, yeah. Yeah, there's Ron's champagne. Thank you, Doug. I'm going to try to remember to stay on top of that.
Champagne, actually.
Yeah, he spelled it right, though. Ron's a smart guy. Now, Doug, as I recall, when you found this, it was one whole piece, and you, Richard Nixomed it and cut it into 2. Is that correct?
I can't remember back that far. I
think that's what happened.
Yeah.
So do we count that as 2 pieces of silver, Charlie, or does that count as 1 piece of silver?
2 pieces.
Okay, 2 pieces.
I think I suggested maybe I'd chop it up a little bit more to up my piece count.
Okay, I like it. I like it. So good. Oh, look, Doug, we have Lindiana Jones is joining us. Let me throw her up on the big screen real quick and give her.
She's up in Letits, right?
There, we gave her a shout out.
Hey,
Lynn's in
Why did
Latit.
they change
Hello,
the name?
hello from Letits.
Yeah.
Linus.
When's the first day of the show, Lynn?
Tomorrow.
Okay. Is it a big show? Are they big Latits?
It's about, I don't know, 40 dealers.
All right, that's a good size.
We had a few no-shows, so it's not as big as usual, but it's a nice show.
Hey, turn your camera to the window so we can see your Letits.
Oh,
God.
Doug, that's not appropriate, Doug.
Dougie.
That's not appropriate.
No, we can look out at the town.
We're at a Airbnb.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Who's with you?
2 friends, Alicia and Jackie. You can see part of one. They didn't want to be on. There's another one.
They didn't want to be on as Lynn turns the camera and puts the photo on.
It was a quickie.
All right, there we go. Well, you're joining us just for the start of the show, Lynn, and we did give a shout out again. If you guys are in the Warwick Letits area this weekend, maybe get over and say hello to Lynn, and maybe she'll show you her
Antiques.
You know what, Jason? Jason,
Yes,
only Lancaster County has the weirdest names for towns.
I know. You guys are perverted out there, Charlie.
Blue
That's-
balls.
That's those
Intercourse.
Amish people, Charlie.
That's right. It's right down the road.
Yeah, isn't there intercourse,
Every
Pennsylvania?
body part you can think of in Lancaster County for names
Yeah,
of
I don't know
their
what's
towns.
going on with you guys out there, but
There is.
all
It's
right,
Those
let's go to the
Amish
show.
are,
Thank you for joining us,
Pennsylvania
Lynn.
Dutch thing.
Sure. I don't know how long we'll be on. We're exhausted, but we.
That's
wanted to
okay.
say
I
hello.
mean, whenever even a minute is a treat. Thank you.
Hey, last night I dreamt you mentioned exhausted. I dreamt I was a muffler. I woke up exhausted.
Oh God.
Oh my goodness! I should kick him out of the show for that one.
Yeah, it's time to leave.
All right, let's move on, Lynn. You remember this field, Lynn? What a magical place this field was, Lynn.
Yep.
And I named it the field where silver spoons go to die.
Oh, that's perfect.
I like it. Thank you.
Don't feed into his ego.
All right, let's see what else we got here. So that was the first one from Dougie there, that piece.
Oh, boots.
Yeah, now this was our wonderful, wonderful host. Her name was Cheryl, who owned the property. Super nice lady. Didn't want to be in the video, so I just recorded her boots because he hunted with us for, at least 2 whole days, half of other days. Very enthusiastic, didn't give up, found a couple of really good things on her own. So I wanted to give her a shout out. Cheryl Dirty Boots, property owner. Really enjoyed hanging out with her all day, Doug.
Oh, absolutely. She's great. Her and Dave. And she's taken to metal detecting like she's been doing it for 50 years. But
Yeah,
there's not going to be any silver left when we go back because now she's
yes, she
detecting.
will. Yes, she will.
Oh, Rich, we barely scratched the surface.
I was just thinking, she's getting all the permissions now, Doug.
Yeah.
All right, so that's Muddy Boots. Like I said, great lady. She
Yeah.
a little camera shy, or I would have invited her to join us tonight.
Okay.
Let's see what else we got here.
Yes.
And there was a comment from Madeline Rose. Love having the owner participating. Me too, Madeline Rose. I love it when the homeowners get out. They have a good time with us. We get to incorporate them. We had it this past weekend, Charlie, at the spot we were at. I think the weekend before also. It adds a cool layer. It adds a cool dynamic. I really enjoy it when they come out and especially they find something cool. That's exciting.
I'll tell you what, Jason, you say about this past weekend. I never laughed so much in my life with these kids detecting with us this weekend.
Yeah, I mean, I don't want to let the cat out of the bag too much, but yeah, there was 3 kids that hunted all day with us, and they found some good stuff, Doug.
Yeah, they did.
And when I wanted to, you know how I like to take silly pictures, Doug, where you go, like the pictures I like.
Yes.
The kids jumped in like they were good, like they got it. They were a joy. They were a joy.
Yep. And they're very interested in history. You know, they were cool kids.
Yeah, we'll get more into that when that episode comes around. But they were great.
You remember Dave Tutter?
So anyway, Muddy Boots. This was Muddy Boots' find, Doug.
Yep.
One of her first ever piece of silver that she found with a metal detector. A sterling silver fork. There were a lot of silver forks around, as you know, Doug.
Now, prior to us beginning to detect this property, which is, I would guess, what, 60 acres in total, somewhere around there?
Yeah, that's a good guess.
We were told by the property owners, Dave and Cheryl, that there would be a lot of utensils found throughout the field because it had been a pig farm for many years. And they had contracts with a variety of restaurants, and all that restaurant food would come up. And along with that food was utensils and other, some coinage and whatever. And it was just dumped and spread throughout the fields. But Dave, the husband, said he had buckets full of utensils, even before we came there and started detecting. So we knew what to expect.
Yeah, and to add to that, Doug, that the property we were at before this, which you got to go back 3 months now because it's been a while.
Well, that opened the door. That really opened the door to this permission.
Yeah, that was the house that I only put a short video out. We didn't find a lot there, but that's where I found the Tiffany bracelet. Rich had the seated quarter. But other than that, we really didn't find a whole lot. And that farmer, whose farm butts right up against this one, that farmer said to us, "You're probably going to find a lot of silver spoons. I've been finding them for years plowing." And we were out a full day. We didn't find not one spoon, not one piece of spoon. So we kind of dismissed it. So then we went to this farm, which touches it. They said the same thing. You'll probably find a lot of silver spoons. Like I was kind of like, didn't really take it to heart until we started finding a lot of silver spoons. Now I want to go back to the first house too, because for whatever reason, we just didn't get on any.
Well, I'll tell you why we blew through that so quickly. It was cold. It was the ground was somewhat frozen. That was when you did the ice with the detectors.
Oh, that was fun.
Yeah. So we really didn't give it a thorough going over. But, when we go back there in the fall, I think we'll find more of them.
Yeah, no, I agree. Jay Cook is here. Hello, Jay. Good to see you, brother.
Hey, my buddy Jay.
Richard Brown also. Richard. Thank you, guys. I'll try to keep my eyes out on the chat while I run the show.
No.
But this was Cheryl's fork, and I think I did get a close-up of Cheryl's sterling mark. Every time we find one of these spoons there, most of them, I don't know if I say most, maybe most, 60% were probably silver, but the other 40% were aluminum or stainless steel or plated.
Yeah.
So every time we got a spoon or a piece of spoon or a fork, we had to try to determine if it was sterling. So if some were as obvious where we got the whole thing and it gave the hallmark, that made life much easier than some of the ones where we just got the bowl or just got a piece of the handle where we had to deduce whether or not it was sterling or something else. Weird guy in the park. How are you, sir? Hey, Hoarder. Man, he's been around a long time. What's up, weird guy? All right, let's see what else we got, Doug. But that was Cheryl, the property owner, with that silver fork. This one was from Teresa, the treasure hunter.
Is she in?
I don't know. I didn't see her yet.
Okay.
A lot of the silver spoons and forks were mangled. They've been hit by the plow for 100 years. So this was Teresa's after it was washed off. I put it in the show because Teresa was nice enough to give it to the property owner, Cheryl, who Cheryl unbent it, and I wanted to put some pictures in so you guys can see it after the fact. So that's after Cheryl unbent it. Beautiful little baby spoon. I love the decorative edge around the handle.
I think it's a sugar spoon, actually.
All right, maybe. I give sugar to babies, so that's why I call it a baby. Give some energy, Doug. You know those babies are always so.
Oh yeah, they need to be
energy.
Jumping around the crib.
But I thought that was a beautiful spoon. I got a shot of the back. There's a lot of the spoons. Let me make this full screen for a second, Doug.
Yeah, that has a monogram, doesn't it?
A lot of the spoons had monograms. This one, what's that look like to you, Rich? You got good eyes.
Yes. What if you can call?
It's a P, I think.
A P?
I think so.
All right, it might be.
Yeah,
it's really small on my phone.
Yeah,
It looks like a P, yeah.
I think I have a shot of not really the P, but whoops! Oh, darn it! Hold on.
Of a totally different spoon.
I hit the wrong button and jumped ahead. I told you I'm not good at this stuff. All right, here, bring it back in. There we go. We're all back to good again. But anyway, and I did get the money shot on that one too. That's at the bottom of the bowl. Sterling, Denmark, and some sort of a Hallmark above the Denmark. I'm not sure. Just another beautiful spoon, one of so many sterling pieces, Dougie.
Yeah.
You know what? I don't remember. We found so many, silver spoons over the years, and you guys even more than me, but I don't remember finding one that said Denmark before.
I don't recall either. There was a lot of spoons that I've obviously never seen. I mean, they could be so random and so, that's what's nice about it. Every one was different. We didn't get any duplicates. It's not like it was. And that's the beauty of what Doug was saying of how these spoons were from local restaurants and they put them in big barrels. At the end of the night, all their food in these big barrels, and in these barrels would also go. Spoons would fall in, plates would break. We found a lot of pottery. So these spoons that are all different makers and patterns and sizes and engravings, it's not like they were from the family that lived there and they would all have the same initials. Like they were just totally random. Because they came from such a big selection of places.
Yeah.
So that was Teresa, the treasure hunters. Lynn, Chris Heimsoth, my good friend, is here. He said, "Let them ladies squeeze in there."
My son. Let them ladies squeeze in there. Did you hear that?
Hey, Jason,
Yes, Charlie.
I'm wondering how many spoons they found at the butcher shop when these pigs were slaughtered.
Well, I don't know if there's any spoons there. There might be other utensils.
Because I'm sure there's pigs when they got that food, they gobbled it up, and I wouldn't be surprised if a few spoons went into their digestive system.
I like to think they were milk pigs.
Yeah.
Because I'll tell you, when we slaughter our steers, we find metal in the stomachs.
Yeah.
Of our steers. Yeah, we do.
I'm sure there probably were. I tried to think about it, Charlie. It depresses me. I'm a hypocrite. I eat meat, but I tried to think where it comes from. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Hey, Charlie, maybe that's why they're not around anymore. The guy retired on silver, taking it out of all the pigs. Could be.
Let's see. There was a whole bunch of marbles found. I didn't take pictures of all the marbles. There was probably maybe 10. These two were both from Cheryl. Lynn, I think you found a marble, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
There were several marbles from Matt or Rich. I think you guys had some.
I found one, Jason. I found one.
I love that green one.
Always fun. Always. My view 1875 was saying George Jensen is a famous Danish silversmith. That might have been the one that we were just talking about. I'm not sure. My view 1875 has helped us with many pieces over the years, Doug. So I wouldn't be surprised if they are correct.
I like Jay. I like Sue Ramsey's most recent comment in the chat there.
Oh, let me find. Oh, there it is. It comes from steak trees and ground beef bushes. Yeah, I try not to think about it. You know, but I can't not eat it. I'm a hypocrite. Listen, I know what goes on. I just can't be the executioner. You know.
Unfortunately, I like meat.
All right, so marbles, a lot of marbles. And this is the last notable find from Cheryl, the property owner, another sterling spoon bowl. A lot of them had a beautiful black patina on them, Doug.
Oh, yeah.
Same with the coins. A lot of them had a beautiful black patina on the coins. You know, just from being in the ground, maybe the chemicals. It's weird. I got into a debate with someone last week. I put a picture on Facebook of a silver something that one of us found. And the guy said something like, "You guys didn't dig that. I don't see any black tarnish." And I said, "You know, I'm not a scientist, man, but sometimes they come out with a lot of black, sometimes spotty,
They
black,
don't.
sometimes none. I don't know why, but believe me, if you don't believe me, then you're just not doing it enough to know for yourself."
Jason, think about the Riel that Jessica found, 1734 Riel. That came out as shiny as all could be. That was silver.
It's just,
Yeah.
like I said, it's probably a combination of the soil conditions, the moisture. I don't even know, Charlie, but some silver pieces come out, you'd never even know it was in the ground, and then some look like this piece where they're covered in black tarnish.
Yeah,
like I said,
has to do with the soil.
Yeah, I'm not Neil Tyson deGrasse, so I don't, explain why.
That is. I don't know. He's a physicist.
Let's see. There's a close-up of Cheryl's spoon. Look at all that black tarnish on there, Doug. I prefer the black tarnish on my silver.
It gives it character.
I like the patina.
Yeah, it just looks cool. But, you can't help how it comes out. But that's how hers came out. Let's see what else we got. Oh, non-silver piece from Mr. Dog Tag Doug, Mexican Doug, Jane Fond Doug. Nice eagle button. Great Seal eagle button. And this was an early one. Pre-World War I, Doug.
Yep.
There's no raised rim on the edge. It smooths over to the side. This is one of the earliest ones, probably from like 03 to 1912. So really nice two-piece button there from Dougie. There were some non-silver relics, but we were really there like by trip 3, specifically for the silver relics and coins.
And that's why we adjusted our machines to focus on those finds, those silver finds.
For sure. Here's one. This one was yours, Charlie, I believe.
Yeah.
And I mean, look at Doug. I think I clipped one of your comments because you actually commented something pretty funny, Doug, which is a rare.
It is, yes. I was going to repeat it, but thank you for clipping it and highlighting it.
Yeah, Doug's funny clip is I haven't seen a fork like Charlie's in a long time.
That is good.
Yeah, that's pretty good. That's pretty good. Rich, about once every 2 or 3 years, Doug lands a funny one. And I give him his due.
Good job, Doug. Good job.
Thank you.
But no, it was a beautiful one there from Charlie. Big, thick one, too. I mean, that thing was heavy.
Can you imagine how much that thing would have weighed if it was in its entirety?
Yeah. Some of them were really thick, no doubt. And look at Charlie's fork. Hardly any black on it. Probably found only, 50 yards from where the last one that was totally black was found.
Yeah.
And it's in the same field. I don't know. It's just the way science works. Like I said, go ask Neil Tyson deGrasse or Bill Nye. I don't know.
Or go find your own.
Go find your own. That's right. Go find your own.
Hey, Jay, can we try to get Bill Nye on?
I could try to get anybody on. This is whether or not they can get back to me.
He could explain some stuff.
Yeah.
I could try.
Yeah, keep going after those big fish.
Yeah, why not? What's the worst I could say, Doug? Just
hey, Jason, can you get Dolly Parton on?
Maybe. I think she's going to be with Lynn this weekend.
Yeah, she's the guest.
She's a guest speaker. Maybe
she's a keynote speaker.
Yeah, she's a keynote speaker. There's the back mark, Charlie, on your fork. I think it was like a crown leaning into a cross, which at the time we looked it up and knew what it was. I don't remember now.
That's
cool, though.
English.
Yeah, it was sterling, and that was an English Hallmark.
Yeah.
Let's see what else we got. There was a lot of them. There was a lot of silver coins. I'm not going to dwell on them. You guys have all seen Mercs and Rosies and Washingtons. Yeah. I put a picture up, but there was probably over 20 silver coins, most of which were Rosies, Mercs, Washingtons.
However,
well, there was a couple of odd ones that I did put in here. But those were the majority of the silver coins we found.
1941.
There's another silver spoon bowl from Doug. That one was beautiful. Not only black tarnish, but like a uniformed black tarnish, almost like a mirror, Doug. That was one of my favorite ones.
Yep.
As far as the broken ones, every time
you dug that, Doug.
You ever see those guys that do, or maybe you guys do it yourself, where you'll see people looking for arrowheads, and they'll see like just the tip sticking out, and you'll go down, you'll pick it up, and you're praying that it's whole, and then like a lot of them are broken, and that's how this field was. You would dig down, and you'd see the edge of a silver spoon or fork hanging out, and you'd reach in praying that it was whole, but unfortunately, most of them were pieces. But although we did get a lot of whole ones, but the majority were broken pieces like this.
Yep.
So a good one there. I don't remember who found that. It might have been Doug. I see Doug's gloves in the background.
Yep.
Let's see. Here is a fork. Don't remember who found that. Look how mangled that thing was, Doug. Yeah. That got hit by the plow many, many times over the years. But I'm sure I got there was the one from 116 Falconer. Can you share your settings that put you on the silver? And I will, Doug. What we did, and like I said, this is not the optimal setting that you guys would want to use if you go out detecting. But keep in mind, this field was riddled with aluminum also. Aluminum silverware, bits of can, bottle caps, all that stuff. Shards that the plow hit of whatever. So you can walk 4 feet and get high tones all day long. But we realized that the aluminum on our machines would hit at about a 44 or 45, and the silver would be at about a 47, 48 and up. So we decided to discriminate everything below a 46, which typically is terrible advice. Terrible. We wouldn't find any, a lot of relics we're going to miss, no shot for gold. You're going to miss a lot of stuff. But remember, at this point, we knew the field we had. Our time was limited. They were getting ready to plant. So we were just silver shooting at this point because it was everywhere. Mm-hmm. So we discriminated out below a 46. And then on our machines, the Legends, I went in and all the tones below a 46, I put to a volume of 1. So you would hear it, but it was very, very faint. And then when you went over the 47 or whatever the number was, it would blast through at volume 10 and you would really notice it. So it made it really easy as you were swinging, hearing all the aluminum and all the junk, but it was very faint, very background. And when you got over a good piece of silver, boom, in your ears. And we were really successful that way. Wouldn't you say, Doug?
Absolutely. Now, most of the time, and the reason we did this was because of the high quantity of silver that we anticipated. But typically on an old property, we want to hear those low and mid tones, and we won't discriminate them in any way. But because of being alerted to the fact that this was so laden with silver, we wanted to be able to find the silver and not dig 4,000 holes, most of them being shards of aluminum. So.
Yeah. Now, when we go back in the fall, we'll probably open the machines up again because we'll have more time.
Right.
But they were getting ready to plant like any day. So we were just trying to hedge our time and shoot for the best signals possible. when we go back, we'll open them up, and I'm sure we'll dig a lot more junk, but I'm sure we'll find some interesting things.
Yep.
So thank you for the question, 116 Falconer. And I'll show you some of this other fork too, because like most of them, when you find it, you clean it up, you try to determine if it was indeed silver. And this one, you can see the sterling mark right there on the handle. This one was really interesting, the way the handle connects to the actual fork mechanism. Like it's almost looks like a cheap aluminum one, the way that's connected. I've never seen that sort of a piece before. But the sterling hallmark staring me in the face, that's proof in the pudding, right? Right, Doug?
Right. Yep.
Again, I don't remember who dug this one, but there was a lot of stuff found here. Let's see what else we got here. There's another spoon, a whole one. This one, really cool mark on that. It looks like it says WF something and then sterling. That was a whole one. We probably bent it back into shape because you see that terrible bend
mark.
Yeah, so I'm sure it was probably bent and we straightened it out. But it's really nice when you can get a whole one out of the ground. They were a real treat. Dougie found this one, I remember, because he yelled out that he had an Immaculate Mary medal, which we find a lot of. We probably find a dozen or more a year. And then Doug said, I think this one's silver.
Of course, I say that about everything.
Well, if anyone's watched the show before, I mean, Doug thinks everything is silver. Everything. So when Doug yells out, I think it's silver, it's like you don't really believe him too much.
Like Peter and the Wolf.
Right. It's Peter and the Wolf. But when I walked over and I saw that, I go, oh man, that really might be silver. Like they're a harder to find. We've only found one silver Immaculate Mary medal ever. That was about 6 years ago. But it sure looked like one. And we sprayed it down. I think he was right. You could see the
right under the hearts.
Yeah, I'll make it full screen real quick, Doug. Yeah, was that a real heavy piece too, Doug? It looks thick.
It was. For its size, it was very heavy. And I thought I was going to have like a $50 because it rang up on the legend 54 consistent. Wow. And I thought for sure it was going to be like a $50, silver $50, and was kind of surprised to see that looks like the actual size. So it really wasn't that big.
I think it's just the density, how thick it was.
Yeah.
I remember it being really thick. So because it was so dense, I wouldn't be surprised if it came up, that high.
Yeah.
But great find there from Doug. We did have a lot of silver relics. That was a neat one. Let's see what we got next. Another silver quarter. There was a lot of silver Washingtons. Look how black that one is.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah.
I mean, that one, and I love those. I love when you get a black, heavy, tarnished coin. It just looks so cool. But it's only like from the 1940s, which is weird. We found coins there. We found this silver coin from the 1800s that Doug found that had almost no black on it. And then look at this thing, only from the 40s.
Yep.
Pretty crazy. Another spoon bowl. Don't know who found that one.
Oh, this is cool.
Yeah, this is a cool relic I found. And I pulled it out of the ground. I was like, what in the world? It was a sterling silver cello. Now it's busted up at the neck, as you can see. So I don't know if that, in it when it was whole, if that was a pin or a brooch or a necklace charm. I don't know. But man, it's cool. You find a sterling silver, any sort of a design or anything. So I thought it was really cool.
That might have been my favorite find of the whole field.
Yeah, that was nice.
Yeah,
it was cool. I texted a picture to Brad Martin when I got home because he found a silver guitar a few weeks before that, and I said, Brad, is mine a violin or a cello? And he said yes.
Thanks for narrowing it down.
Well, because I guess they're all the same thing. It's just it's bigger or smaller. Like it could be an upright bass, I guess, right?
Yeah, honestly, there's guitars that shape, there's basses that shape, and everything else too. So
Yeah, it's really cool. That was a really fun one. So great find there for me. These were some non-silver things. At the exact same time, I found that Lesney toy on the left, and Matt found that super heavy lead horse on the right at the exact same time.
Little white car.
And Matt's probably weighed 11 and a half pounds because it was solid lead.
Yeah.
That was early in the day too, so
Yeah.
I carried it around.
I put these in no particular order, so yeah.
Hey, Matt, you can melt that down for some lead weights for your fishing.
It's a good idea. I got it on display. It's got no feet, but
you have to display it in the sand so it can. These were two rosies that I'm sorry, two silvers we found.
Works.
Yeah, the one on the left, the 1917, I found, and I found it at the exact same time that Lynn found the 1941. And what made that a little special is that was Lynn's first ever silver Mercury dime. Lynn, is that right?
It was, yeah.
Her first ever Merc. So great find there from Lynn. So yeah, and they were almost the exact same time, Doug.
Yeah, I remember that. We were all down at the other end of the field.
Yeah, we walked all the way to the end. And then we started hammering some good stuff at the end. We think the plow may have pushed things over time to the end of the field. There was a real concentration at the end.
Hey, I'll be right back real quick.
Okay. There's another silver spoon bowl with a little bit of the handle on it. Again, they just were absolutely endless. That one, I just love the back mark on it, Doug. I'm going to make a full screen on this one too because just thought it was really beautiful. You can see the patent, 1912.
Yeah.
The hallmarks to the right of it, which I don't know what they are at the time at this moment. The sterling mark and just a lot of fancy on it. I really wish this one was whole, but unfortunately came out busted.
Yeah, I gotta believe if the bottom part of the handle is that ornate, the top was going to be even at least as nice, maybe nice.
Yeah, I agree. Now we do have some coming up that we got the whole thing, and it was just amazing.
Yeah,
I'm kind of starting off a little bit slow, but that one was one of my favorite ones, even though it was busted. Now it got beat out by some of the ones coming up. Some of them are just incredible.
Yeah.
Another toy car that I threw in because I love those toy cars, Doug. This was an old Tootsie, and I got a better shot of it there after I cleaned it up.
Yeah.
Just love that. It would have been an old, like a tow truck. This is from the late 50s. And I love those old kids' toys.
What I thought was interesting was we were walking back towards where we parked the car, and you said, "Oh, I wish I could find at least one more Tootsie." And then you found this and another one.
Yeah, the car I showed a minute ago next to Matt's horse, I actually found this one first.
Yeah.
And then I walked about 10 feet and found
the other one.
I love the old toys because they display so well downstairs. Once you display a couple of silver Washington quarters, but these things I love putting them up. All right, let me see what we got here. Another silver Washington. Don't know who found that. This was a great one. Now this one Lynn found. Now, when she called me over for this, I had no idea what the heck it was, Doug. I thought it was the mascot for Quiznos. Remember Quiznos? They had that
the
disgusting like booger monster was their mascot. I still don't understand why a food place would have had that disgusting thing.
Yeah.
I think that's why they went out of business because of the choice of the mascot they chose.
Yeah.
I honestly do. But Lynn found this. We didn't know what the heck it was. And honestly, on this day, Lynn didn't find a whole lot. So this little thing made the video because I like to try to get everybody in the video. If Lynn would have found like 2 pieces of broken spoon this day, this thing wouldn't have made the video. But because it made it, I put it in. And this thing had more comments and more people talking about than anything else we found that entire day. So I have a picture of it here cleaned up. And then somebody hundreds of people commented, but this was one I grabbed saying that that's rat Fink from the 1960s hot rod era. Doug, I don't know if you heard of the guy. His name was, the next picture I have it.
It was Roth.
There's the website. I'm going to make it screen. This website is still alive today, Doug. Like, you can still go there. This rat Fink is like a huge underground cult following still to this day. They have yearly like get-togethers where all these people get together. It's a huge thing. I'd never heard of it before. Now, it was a little bit before my time, but Doug, Charlie, have you guys ever heard of Rat Fink or Ed Big Daddy Roth before?
Absolutely.
Why did no one tell me what it was if all three supposedly knew what it was?
Well, personally, that was the 60s when he was really popular. And I graduated from high school in 68. And Rat Fink was what you would call somebody that you weren't particularly fond of. But I had forgotten completely about it because just like high school, I forgot all about that. So, but yeah, it's definitely, it was big then, and I couldn't tell you how big it is now, but.
Well, there was so much around this, and especially when I put it on Facebook, I mean, hundreds of people not only commented, but a lot of people told me that they used to work for Ed Roth, or they painted shirts, or they did this, or they worked for him that way. Like,
that's cool.
Everything I got was so positive. He must have been a really cool, nice guy. And this thing really took over, in that moment, I'm assuming, just based on the reactions it got. So, Lynn, I'm kind of glad you didn't have a super stellar day this day, because this thing, I would have cut this right out. I would have, because it just looked like it was a gumball machine gremlin.
Totally. And it's funny how things work out, but I never connected Rat Fink with that. And I do remember it because I used to draw them. And
Lynn, wasn't he always on a motorcycle? He would sit on a motorcycle, right?
Hot rods and motorcycles and like choppers and like all that kind of stuff.
I kind of remember him. Yeah.
So it was way before your time, Matt. You're younger than me, and it was before my time.
I remember that image of him sitting on like a big motorcycle or something like that.
Yeah. Well, great find there from Lynn. And who would have even thought that it was a great find in the moment?
Was that sterling piece?
No, I think this was pewter.
Pewter or pot metal.
Yeah. Yeah. And apparently the people that said they used to work for Ed Roth, who were commenting, said that most of the Rat Fink figurines like that were plastic,
right? And
that the pewter ones were kind of rare because they cost more to make. Now, when I say rare, it's not worth anything, but I'm saying for every one pewter one that was made, maybe 1,000 plastic ones. So they were not as many people had them. So to find the pewter one, which is the only one we're going to find with a metal detector, is pretty cool. So check that out. And if you want to buy yourself a Rat Fink shirt, Doug, ratfink.com website still lives to this day.
I'm more of a Bob Ross kind of guy than an Ed Roth.
Hey, go find me a Bob Ross paintbrush, Doug, in the field, and I'll put it in the video.
Okay.
Barbara the Dirt Pirate, Connell Morrow. How are you, Barb? Good to see you. Hold on, my stupid thing. Every time I do this, you guys don't see anything, but something changed. All right, there we go. Okay, I'm back. Let me close out of this. All right, let's keep going, Dougie. Another silver rosy. Look at the black on that one.
Yeah.
That might have been mine, only because I see my pinpointer in the background, but I don't remember. Looks like 46. This was another find from Lynn. This was a little sterling silver charm or something, but it had a full name on it. Richard W. Thornton. Thornton. I think the N is supposed to be silent, isn't it?
No.
It's not. You're supposed to pronounce the N? Thornton?
Yes.
It's a name. It's the last name.
I just thought it was like a sign. Let me ask the chat. Everyone in the chat, if you read this name, do you emphasize the N in Thornton, or is it kind of like a silent letter, Thornton?
The T's sort of silent.
Thornton. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Do you over enunciate the N? Thornton. Look, and Louis enunciates the N, Doug.
I don't think you over enunciate. You just say Thornton.
I'm doing a quick poll, Rich. I'm doing a quick poll. Danimal Dig says Thornton. I would not have said that.
Jason, did anybody research that name?
No,
I did
a little bit, but it's a pretty common name.
He was from Pennsylvania.
Yeah.
He was from down that area.
It was a common name, though.
Richard
we
W.
had a hard time,
There were a number of them that came up in the hunt.
Right.
Yeah. So, but that was a good find there from Lynn. And, again, like everything else, that one on the back, as you can see, it says Rolls, Roles, and then Sterling. Doug called it Rose, but just like the N in Thornton, I said, you got to pronounce that L, Doug.
Yeah, that's
right. So a pretty cool piece there from Lindiana Jones. All right, what do we got here? Oh, this is a great spoon. This might have been found by Matt.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, I mean, this one was great because it was complete, and you can see all that fancy on there. So when you spray this down, you're in for a treat. Let me see. I think I did some big close-ups on this. Yeah, let me make this full screen, Doug.
Yeah.
Wow.
Beautiful. Look at it. I mean, look how nice those rose petals stick up off the back.
It's pretty.
I think they're grape leaves.
No, I meant these right here.
Like grape
Okay. Gotcha.
I just love how they stick up really high. And then it kept getting better and better. This is down near the middle of the handle. It almost looks like an owl, like a horned owl looking at you.
That's what I was thinking. Yeah.
Compared to the rest.
You can see it's really faint, Doug, but under the owl's eyes, right here, it says patent 1900.
Wow.
So you got a 125-year-old spoon, and more leaves, really beautiful. And then when you flip that handle over, look at all those flowers sticking off, and it's monogrammed with some initials in the center. I think I have a closer up picture of the monogram right there. If anyone wants to take a guess of what those letters are, I'm terrible at reading that calligraphy stuff.
Yeah.
MF something.
That one's particularly hard.
Yeah, but that one is just fantastic. And look at the relief on those flower petals. That one was a stunner, a real stunner. And like I said, Matt got that one complete. I mean, mangled and bent and everything, but got the whole thing. That was one of my favorite spoons.
That went in the display box. I cleaned it up a little bit. Right. And displayed it.
Yeah, no doubt about that. So great job there from Matt. Beautiful. And like I said, you're walking along this field. I would imagine a spoon like this probably hit like a 52. Like
easily.
If you swing a different machine that goes from 1 to 99, this is probably hitting like a 94. Like this stops you in your tracks. I don't care what machine you're using.
There's no doubt that there's no guessing.
Yeah.
Pretty obvious.
So great one from Matt.
Who's that ugly?
I took my finger off the play button, Doug. All right, let's see. Next one here. Charlie found this one. I thought it was pretty cool. This one I was filming with my GoPro. It started drizzling, so I didn't want to get my microphones out, but I took out my phone and recorded from the GoPro through the phone Charlie's Rosie. I just thought it was interesting. I can even see the date. It looks like 63.
Yeah, a lot of nicknames in there.
No one else cares about that but me. But I find a way to entertain myself, Doug. I find a way to entertain myself. Here's another spoon. That look, and this thing comes out of the ground. I'm going to do a full screen on this one too, Doug, because this is kind of the fun kind of stuff. So this is what came out of the ground, and this is why I'm saying like you got to really investigate. It's a mangled, bent up spoon. You don't know if it's silver, copper, plated. Like this is what comes out, and then over time, the next one. I hit the wrong button. Hold on. Yes, you can play along here. So then you give it a quick knock off with just like a brush or a toothpick. Now it looks a little shinier. So now you're thinking, oh, maybe. Then you give it a spray down. So now you've got a sprayed down one. Now it looks
now it's really looking silver.
Now it's looking like a silver spoon. You saw what it started at, just caked in thick mud. So then after this, then you start looking on it. There's the sterling hallmark up near the handle with a little T to the left of it. Fabulous. Then you move down. There was you see the fancy, very faint on the handle, but can you see all the flowers and some of the cut work on there? And then as we kept rotating it, there was another hallmark on there. The pattern was called Treasure, and you can see the manufacturer RLR in like a windmill kind of a design. And that was the spoon. So you go back again, like I said, just so you can get an idea, this is how it started. And it just kind of becomes this other piece, before your eyes. I didn't mean to do that. I think this was Matt's, if I recall.
Yeah, that's mine.
But I thought that was amazing. And that's the fun part of this is when you pull these spoon pieces or fork pieces out, trying to figure out, A, is it silver? Well, first, is it complete? Then is it silver? Does it have fancy? Is there markings? Does it have a monogram? What's the hallmark? And it's just, and you rinse and repeat over and over and over. So great find there from Midtone Matt.
Nice.
Leads right into another one, yet another one, another mangled one, bent in half. This one, I don't remember if we opened it up or not. This also has some engraved initials on it. This one might be LC. I'm not sure. Some of them, if where it was bent, if it looked brittle or there were small hairline cracks, we didn't try to bend it in the field because it would have snapped. So you kind of look at it and see if it can withstand, a field bending, with no heat, nothing, This one, as I recall, looked suspicious like it would snap, so we left it bent. Don't remember who found this one. If you guys do, feel free to yell out. There's another close-up of the initials, LLC. There's a question here I happened to look up. Marty Smith, how many restaurants had to be around for that much silverware to be found? I don't know, Marty. I mean, for them to donate this food or sell it to this pig farm over the course of 50 years, I don't know how far in miles the farm was buying it. Could have been from a 20-mile radius in every direction. It could have been hundreds of restaurants.
I think I remember them saying primarily Philadelphia. A lot of the Philadelphia restaurants.
And then you're talking thousands.
Didn't we find something at one point that had something on it that was like a local restaurant? Or
we did. But the weird thing to me was, and I don't know the answer to these, is even if they were collected from restaurants, why do they have monogrammed initials on 25% of them? Like you would think, unless the restaurant
name of the restaurant.
Well, I guess it could be. I thought they were a person's initials, but I could be wrong.
Get rid of it.
It's just really bizarre. But I wasn't alive back then. Maybe the restaurants, bought them secondhand to get them cheaper. I don't know.
Sorry, guys. There, I'm back. Sorry about that.
Another great one there. I think that's a different one. You can see that one. The bowl itself got bent in half, and it's badly cracked, so we couldn't open that one up. The plow, depending on how it hit it, can really do a lot of damage. We got fortunate if the spoons and forks stayed even complete. A lot of times it just smashed them into pieces. But that one mostly survived. I count that as whole. Another black Washington there. Don't know who got that one.
You know what, Jason? I'm thinking we're saying restaurants. How about hotels and stuff like that in the city?
I think he said it was.
Hotels.
I think he said schools, restaurants, hotel. Like I guess whatever business sold food that would have an excess, they would donate the food to the pigs. But mixed in the food, spoons and forks would fall into these bins. There was a lot of pottery on the ground, so I'm sure some plates or broken plates got thrown in. And I think one of us even said, I forget who it was, it's possible that some of the pigs actually ate these spoons and forks. It went through their digestive system, came out the back end, and then got lost. That's very possible. I mean, a pig is a big animal. So it's possible that it actually got swallowed and came out the rear, and then we found it.
Yeah.
You have my wife laughing, Jason.
I mean, that's possible, right?
She used to raise pigs. She used to raise pigs.
Did she? Ask Judy, would a pig eat a fork or spoon and not think twice about it?
I don't think my pig would eat a spoon.
No? Oh,
I don't think so.
I've seen Doug eat spoons, so that's why I just figured,
She was, by the way, Berks County Miss, what were you? Pork Queen. Berks County Miss Pork Queen.
No, brother.
She should know the answer.
I wouldn't let that get spread around, Charlie.
It's hard to believe that the lovely Judy
was a pork
raised
queen.
pigs. Yeah, like it's. I can't imagine that.
I showed them at the fair. Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey Jay, I'd like to say something about silver back then.
Go ahead. I'll give you the floor, Doug.
Thank you. We saw that there were a couple. Oh wow, I'm prettier than I thought.
Make it count. Make it count.
We saw a couple dates like 1900, 1912. Back then, silver wasn't fetching what it fetches today. So to lose some silverware in a bunch of pig slop didn't set the hotel back that much.
Yeah, probably was
the restaurant.
And also those dates that are on the spoons and forks, that pattern may have been in production for 20 years. So it doesn't mean it was necessarily made in 1912. It could have come out in the 30s.
Right.
They just didn't change the patent number.
But even then, silver wasn't.
It was $4, right? It was the norm. I mean, when you were a little kid, I mean, every coin in your pocket, other than pennies, was silver, and you didn't think of it as silver; it was just a coin.
Yeah.
Another one from Charlie there, sporting the Penn State shirt. That's a close-up of Charlie's. Another 57. Washington. Another broken fork. I think this one cleaned up good. I got a picture of the backside.
I think that was Charlie's.
Yeah,
Yes.
I'll do a full screen. Look, it's a broken fork. It's mangled. I get it. But I mean, I just think it's beautiful. Like, look at the design work on it. I just, I guess I see the beauty in really terrible things. I mean, look at Doug. I see the beauty in Doug.
Time to get a new pair of glasses.
I think that was Charlie's. I think it was Charlie's fine. I don't remember.
It was, yeah.
Charlie used that one for lunch and got a little bit too aggressive.
I can't see what it says. It looks like it says maybe Smart or Saint Sterling. I'm not sure. I can't tell what it says. Another bowl there. Don't know who found that. That almost looks like it has a Chinese symbol, but that handle broke off so close to the bowl. Just didn't get enough to really read the cool stuff in there.
You can hear it.
Somebody's parakeet loose.
Turbo Taxi said 14 silver dimes is 1 troy ounce. That might be right. I mean, the average spoon, if it was complete, probably weighs 4 dimes worth. Wouldn't you say, Doug? I mean,
I'd say a little bit more.
More than that.
Yeah.
I think a little bit more.
I guess it depends. There's some spoons coming up, complete ones that were small. I guess it depends on the size, the thickness.
Exactly.
This is a cool one Doug found, a non-silver piece. We actually found like 3 or 4 of these there. This is the only one that made the video.
Right. And I got to say, at first I thought it was a military dog tag because it was all bent up and out of shape. But it's something I remember when I was younger. It was a charge plate that would be run a store owner would run it across the whatever they called that thing.
Yeah, there was like the original credit card before you had like an electronic way of running it. I vaguely remember them as a kid. You'd put it in this plastic thing. You had like carbon paper, and you'd run this machine over it, and it would make an impression of the raised numbers, and you'd build them later. When we find pieces like this, you can tell it's old. I'll make it full screen. You know, you can see it says Philip, PA. There's no zip code. Zip codes came into existence in like the early to mid 1960s.
Correct.
Post office needed a better way to route mail, so they came up with the zip code system. So any piece you find that does not have a zip code, it's likely it's at least before 1963, give or take. So this piece is probably from the late 40s, early 50s, and it's got her full name and address on there. I don't know what the LC is. Maybe that's her charge number, like her account number.
Yeah,
I think so.
And if you look really close, Doug, over here on the left, it's got some fine details. There's like an up pointing arrow, if you can see.
right.
It. So,
Well, that's for the shop owner to know to put it in that direction with that being.
So, I mean, look, it's not necessarily a treasure, but I just like pieces that give you a little snapshot of a bygone era, and that's kind of what this thing did.
Yep.
Yeah.
So, and thank you for the vintage FLA who gave a recap, like you said, of the old charger plate. So give him a shout out there. This is another cool one that Doug found, and when he dug it out, the piece was still in the clump. I'll do a full screen on this one so people can follow along like we did. So Doug called me over. He's got the full clump of dirt in his hand. You can see it's the end of a handle. So now you're thinking, well, is it a spoon? Is it a fork? Is it complete? Is it silver? All the things. So let's take a look. So, he busts it open and you can see it. Oh, it sure looks complete, or mostly complete at least. Out of the clump. Then it pulls out. It's a spoon. It looks totally complete. So he drops it in my hand because I'm the filming guy. Complete spoon, big wide bowl, which was also Doug's nickname in high school, wide bowl. Thank you, Lynn, for your friends who are laughing at all my jokes. And then we sprayed it down. I mean, look at that one, Doug. Woo-wee.
Yeah.
That one almost doesn't even look like it was bent because it just luck of the draw. When we bent it just bent really nicely. Beautiful patina on it, not too black, but enough. And I think I got a good money shot of the back.
Yep.
Right there, Gorham Sterling. I've actually heard of the Gorham company before.
That's a major producer.
Yeah, big one. So very nice. In the clump, always nice. And everything that Doug hoped it would be turned out it was full, complete sterling silver spoon. Nice job, Doug.
Yeah, thank you.
Let's see what we got here. This was a mystery one for me, Doug. And I did put up what I'm putting as a comment of the best guess I've saw. Not a silver item, but I found this piece. It's very, very heavy and hit really loud on my machine, like a 55. If you swing a 1 to 99 machine, probably like a 95, 94. So I brushed it all down. You can see it there. It's got a weird thing on the edge. There's the backside. You can see it's like a bowl shape. And then here's a picture of it cleaned up. Lynn, I'll ask you, the best guess I had was from Val Graham 4531, who said he thinks it might be a garlic grater from the early 1900s.
Yeah, garlic is antiseptic, and they used to carry it with them, and they used to carry pocket graters with them. But I don't know that looks sharp enough to grate anything.
Yeah.
The edges too, like over here, these edges look like they would.
Hey, Jay, I think it's a soap dish. They would put soap on top of that, and the ridges are so it didn't slide off.
It's possible, but I mean, you can see it in my hand. It's not real big. Like it wouldn't hold a bar of soap today. It's only yay big.
Yeah, that's a good guess, but I don't honestly think that's what it is. But
maybe it was left on by the stove or whatever, and a utensil they're using for cooking was laid on it.
It's possible, but again, it's very small in my hand. I mean, it wouldn't even hold like a stirring spoon. Maybe a tablespoon, but even that would be pushing the limits of its edge.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I just thought that was an interesting piece. I think it was something at one time.
Really?
And if you go back, if you go back here,
I think it still is, but we still don't know.
But
I can't tell if there was a handle connected to this section or not.
Yeah.
I don't know. Just thought it was interesting. I'm going to send a picture around to a couple of people that I consider ID experts.
Did you try to do a Google reverse?
I tried. Nothing came up.
I think my guess is some sort of mold for something.
A mold?
Yep.
Yeah, but I mean, I'm trying to think. Have you ever seen? Hot Mess Fishing said, "Where's Buckle Boy when we need him?" Yeah, Buckle Boy, you're here every week, and the week I need you, you're gone. I'll send Buckle Boy a picture. He might know. I'm just not sure. But I thought it was really interesting, Doug, and it was heavy too. It was dense, thick bread.
I think Rich is right. I think it's a mold, and I think they mold beeswax or something because I'm looking.
That's what I was going to say. I was going to say that, Charlie. Beeswax or butter,
honeycomb,
or
Did they sell beeswax back then in a consistent uniform shape?
They used beeswax, little pieces of it, to strengthen their sewing thread.
Yep.
Yeah, but were they sold in a mold where every one you bought would be the exact same shape, or because they still sell beeswax, but it's just kind of random, however it snapped off.
Yeah, they came in different shapes, whatever shape you molded it in.
All right. Well,
I don't think we're supposed to know because it's none of our beeswax.
Oh my God! Let me kick Doug out of this. I've had enough. All right, good find there for me. Don't know what it is, but interesting. There was Val Graham 4531 again. Garlic grater, which I thought was the best guess at the moment, but who knows? I do like the beeswax mold, if that's a thing. Another silver dime from Dougie, 1941 Merc. Again, this is all from the same field, too. All this stuff. And this is not counting 3 videos worth before this.
Yeah.
All the stuff. So it's really been a hotbed.
Mm-hmm.
Another Mangled silver spoon there that when it came out, the initials were just banging in our face right there. I don't know what it says. The rest of it was covered in dirt and mud, but that part came out great. That opened up nice and clean. Another interesting
Hallmark.
A Hallmark there. Don't know what it says, but it does say sterling, like a lot of them. There's a close-up of the initial, I don't know, maybe ELJ or something.
Yeah.
You're guessing. Yeah, don't know.
G or J.
Yeah. Another busted spoon bowl, all black. Another rosy. I got some good ones coming up I saved for the end. Not that these aren't good, but like really unique ones. This is a good one I found. When I picked it up, I knew it was a token because it was light, but it's so big. It's a $50 size. And aluminum tokens typically clean up fairly well. So, I sprayed it down and I got this piece. I think the next picture looks a little better. I'll blow up full screen. This was a token for a Mercury automobile, and it says, "You can't lose at your local Mercury dealer." Same graphics on both sides. Doug, when did they stop making Mercuries?
I think they still make them, don't they?
No, I don't think they do.
No.
What was a Ford?
I got to ask a car person. Where's Ed Big Daddy Roth when I need him?
Yeah.
But I thought it was cool. Last year, I found a brass Pontiac Chief of the Sixes token.
That was cool.
So I'm putting together a car token collection now, Doug. Thought that was a neat find. Another Sterling spoon bowl, another unique marking, all unique. Very, no duplicates that I can think of, even out of 50 different.
Yeah.
Another Merc. Another spoon bowl, all mangled. This one wasn't a sterling one. This was a plated one that I found. One of the only plated ones I put in the video because it said Bell Systems on the handle, which I think was like the OG to Verizon or
AT&T.
It was.
AT&T.
Bell Telephone Company.
Yeah.
Yep.
So I just thought that was pretty neat. It was a plated one, but still it was stamped Bell Systems for whatever reason. I guess back then, if you worked for a company, Doug, they'd give you your own personalized company spoon.
Yes.
Yeah. Another Rosie. This is a good one. I'll do another full screen one for this. This was mid-tone mats.
Yeah.
Now, I was filming a silver spoon that Doug had just found, and Matt came running over like an excited 8-year-old, screaming, "Oh my God, I think I got an 8 real."
It's true.
And he showed us this clump. And look, when you see a big, shiny, silvery looking circle, it very well could have been. It's possible. So, we all kind of gathered around and tried to look what it was. So he busted it out. You can see it there falling out. Got a good look at it, but there was a gosh darn like a bus on it. So when you see a bus, then that's what you get.
Yeah.
You're just deflated. You're just deflated.
That was a bus that King Carlos rode on.
Yeah. Now,
I had no more air. I was done.
I got a shot. Now, look, I mean, that's a cool piece. Don't get me wrong. It's one of those Sunoco tokens that we find a lot of, and they fool us every time, Doug.
Yes.
They sound good. They look good. It's dated 1919, but it wasn't made in 1919. It was made like in the 50s or 60s.
Yeah.
But, oh, man, heartbreaker for Matt. As good as a find as it is, when you think you have an 8 real.
And we've all been in that situation, too.
Yeah. Every one of us. So
it was Matt's turn in the barrel.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was happy to have it.
Charlie had a really bad one years ago where Charlie actually used foul language in my video, Judy. I had to edit Charlie. He thought he had an 8 real, and it turned out to be some aluminum token. It happens all.
I think that was the first time you ever heard me say a bad word.
Yeah, I had to edit it out. I was so disappointed in you, Charlie.
It's such a unique feeling when you think you have something and then you look at it and you see it, you're like, oh.
Yeah, and because it was in the clump, you didn't even feel the weight of it because you could tell from the weight that it's aluminum. But when you're carrying the dirt clump, you have no idea what the thing itself weighs.
Yep.
So it's still a cool find, though, Matt. It just, in retrospect, in the moment,
what you want.
It happens to all of us, Matt.
Yeah.
It does.
Let's see. This was from Rich, some sort of a sterling. I'm calling it a butt cap. I really don't know what it came off of.
I agree, though. I think it is the end cap of something.
Yeah, and there might be an initial in the middle of that, Doug. I can't tell. Could be
It is.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's an R.
Okay.
It belonged to a pirate.
There's the underside. The underside looks like a cookie cutter, but it wasn't. But that's what it reminds me of on the backside.
Walking stick.
This one was from Rich also, a sterling silver hollowware handle. All the decoration there. This one, Rich, I had a GoPro on Rich's head, asked him to live dig everything. That's what I do now, live dig everything. So he did live dig it, but because he carries the GoPro on his hat, he was looking down at what he was doing was totally out of the frame. So, his intentions were good, but we didn't get the live dig. But that's what he came up with. Nice piece of silver handle there.
That's a heavy one.
Yeah, real decor. Now, it is probably filled with dirt, too, so it's hard to tell. I don't know what it's the handle of. I see in the chat people are saying walking cane, and it could be. I thought it was maybe to like a
knife.
But I don't.
Yeah, it's a knife. Knife all day on that.
I was thinking knife.
Agreed.
It was bent, wasn't it, too, Rich, at the bottom for like a knife looker? Like it's kind of bent a little bit.
Yeah, it just has that exact feel. The thinness of it and the shape. It's definitely a knife handle.
Yeah. So no, cool piece from Rich. Let's see here. This was my best coin of the day. The Standing Liberty Quarter, the only Standing Liberty Quarter we found there. And one of my favorite coins. I mean, just look at the design on the Standing Liberty Quarters. So I was, I was just captivated for a good 10 minutes staring at it. Found them before, but I just love the Standing Liberty Quarters.
I've never seen it.
So that was a nice one. Beautiful black patina on that one too. There it is, cleaned up a little bit better. I didn't really touch it much, but yeah, Chris Heimsoff, visible date. Yeah. Usually the later dates are visible. They changed the design and lowered the relief so it didn't wear away as quick. The early ones, though, that date wore away super fast, like a buffalo nickel. Like that date's wiped off in a month. There's the back. A lot of black on the back.
Oh, that's neat.
Spotty black.
Color.
Silver spoon here from Rich. I can tell from his bag. Nice home. Oh, look at that Hallmark, Doug. If you can see that, I'll make it real big real quick.
Yeah.
It says Westmoreland sterling, but in between it looks like a ram's head. Can you see that?
Yep.
Yeah.
Very cool.
I wonder if that ram's head is always Westmoreland's symbol or if that's something specific to this pattern. Who knows?
Yeah, I'll look it up.
Yeah, I'm just curious. It's just really nice. The ram's head. Let's see what else we got. There's the whole spoon that had the ram's head on there.
Everything's so jabberwocky.
Here's a handle. I think Rich found the handle and he walked it over to Doug. Just the handle, but sterling. But it did have a monogram on it. I think I got it. Yeah, look at that.
But that's cool.
Look how, I mean, it's hard to tell, but you can tell that that's very thick, even from the picture. I mean, it was a meaty handle. That would have been one big, heavy silver spoon. And I have no idea what that initial says. Lynn, any guess on that initial?
Oh, God.
I'll bring it up real big. What are your friends' name, Lynn? Have them chime in. What do you think?
Jackie and Alicia.
Jackie, Alicia, give me your thought. What do you think those initials are?
It looks like there's 4. YCCK. No.
I think it's HAK.
Oh, I think you're right. HAK.
Yep.
Yep.
I see it now clear. HAK.
Wow, clear.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm glad you say it.
I have no idea what it says, but
Yeah.
Nice find there from Rich. This was one of my favorite ones, Doug. A non-silver relic. When I pulled it out, like I said, I filmed every dig now with the GoPro. So I've probably dug 50 wheat pennies since I started doing this. And at first glance, I thought I had yet another wheat penny. Mm-hmm. But when I rubbed it, I could feel the relief was really, really high. And as soon as I felt the high relief, I knew instantly what it was because we found one before, you and I, a few years ago, although this one's different. I'll do another full screen real quick so people can really see it. This is one side right there. A young Abe Lincoln, short beard, no writing, no date, no nothing. And this is the other side. There was a comment there from Buckle Boy. Shout out to Buckle Boy. The metallet he thought was a find of the day. He'd love to dig one himself. It's called a metallet. The other side, I have a picture of George Washington. Again, no writing on these, no date, nothing. It's just an image of a notable figure on both sides. And I have a picture from the side. It's going to be hard to tell, but you can see on both the top up here and the bottom down here how high the relief is sticking up on both sides.
Mm-hmm.
So these medallets were made around the Civil War, and they were kind of just like a token of the day. They're pretty scarce, though. They didn't make a lot of them. The one Doug found a few years ago had a different bust of Abe Lincoln on one side and Grant on the other side. Mine has Lincoln and Washington. But if you want to Google it after the show or during the show, it's called a metallet. It'll go into all the history of them. They're pretty scarce as far as a metal detecting find goes. So I was super stoked to add that to my collection. And it's really thick, almost as thick as like a flying eagle. And then the relief even on top of that, really, really cool. Chris asked me if you buy them or were they given away. I don't know, Chris. I wasn't alive back then, but Doug was. Doug, how did you get them back then?
You had to buy them.
Got to buy them, Chris.
Yes.
Got to buy them. All right, Adventures in Dirt. Ken King is here.
Did you happen to remember what you found when I found mine?
Do I remember what?
When I found mine a few years ago, you found something unique in that same field.
Oh, yeah, that's where I found my George Washington inaugural button.
Correct.
Oh, yeah. You think I'm going to forget that, Doug?
No, I just want to
give me some credit. Yeah, Ken, I announced that earlier in the show, Ken, about you guys coming on next week for your post-Expedition Unknown live show. It's going to be really fun. If you want to go back to the beginning of the show later, Ken, you can check out the promo. I'm excited to come up with a wicked cool thumbnail for that, Doug. So we'll see what I come up with. I haven't started it yet. But nice metallet there. One of my favorite finds that I got at this whole field. We're getting to the nitty gritty. All right, now this one I got to go full screen.
Yes.
Because this was a weird one. So let me lay out the story real quick to everybody. So I had just got done digging that Standing Liberty quarter.
And you called me over.
Yeah, I was so excited. So I called Doug over, who was halfway across the field, because that was a find worthy of sharing,
Yes.
So Doug comes all the way over. We admire my Standing Liberty quarter, record a few things, do the pictures, yada, yada, yada. So when we're done, Doug turns around to go back, walks maybe one step, and gets a high tone. Like literally, like he almost tripped over my plug, and he gets a high tone. So I said, all right, Doug, we'll live dig yours too. I got the GoPro running. What the heck? So Doug pulls out this sterling spoon. I'm excited for him because, it's another sterling spoon. But we found so many. It's not like I was like, oogling yet. So here's how this one plays out. So the first thing we do is I rub it a little bit and I see that. I see George Washington. I see the Washington Capitol. Yeah. And now I'm like, oh my goodness, this thing is going to be cool. So, again, clean it a little bit more. You can see the detail on George. That's an old picture of George. This isn't like a souvenir spoon from last year.
Right.
Look at the eagle under George, the Washington. There's banners. It's starting to look amazing. It's the spoon bowl is bent up at a 180-degree angle, but we haven't looked at it to see if we could open it yet. But clearly a silver spoon. I turn it over. This is the back of it. That's got a full, detailed, etched-in design work of Mount Vernon, where George Washington, his home was from. So now this is clearly like one of the best silver spoons that we've gotten so far. But it gets better and better. Then we bend the spoon bowl back, and the bowl bends open. Now look at that detail on the back.
That's cool.
It says Mount Vernon, the whole building. It says Sterling off to the left. I mean, just fabulous. And if you really look, hold on, let me see if it's coming up.
I think it is.
There's the front side. Look at that amazing spoon.
With Washington written out.
Washington, D.C. written out. Everything about it, absolutely stunning. Probably 100, 120 years old.
That's cool.
And if you look at it really close, that's a great picture of Doug. I included it in there. But let me go back real quick to two more.
Yeah.
This one, if you look over here, this spot right here, it's actually die cut out. This is a gap. You can see the ground from behind it. It's missing. They cut that part out. And when you turn it over, that same cutout is cut out from up here. Darn it, I missed it. Hold on, let me go back. I'm terrible.
You can see your finger through the.
Yeah, you can see my finger. So the whole thing was die cut. The amount of detail was fabulous, just incredible. And he dug it 6.5 inches from where I had the corner. But listen. I don't care. I was happy for him. I like to bust his chops. But that was the best silver spoon of all of them that we found from that field. Probably over 50 of them.
Yeah.
So amazing, Doug.
And there were some neat ones. And I'm sure there's still neat ones to be found.
I think in the fall there could be some gold ones there, Doug. I mean, I'm hoping. I don't know if
I think you're exaggerating.
Why couldn't there be?
Yeah.
Who would have thought there was 60 silver spoons?
Amazing.
Well,
but anyway, there's the picture of Doug. I love taking the blurry background bokeh photos. Came out really good, despite the model. No, I'm only kidding. Great find, though, and great photo there from Dougie. Let's see what else we got here. We're getting close to the end, I think. Oh, that is the end. That's the end. That was the last one.
Wow.
That was the end.
That's for last.
Yeah. Well, I tried to plan it out so it would be an hour. It's been an hour and 40 minutes, but I'm terrible at the time gauging. So everything you saw, plus 3 videos from before this, where we got up near the house, the large cents, the Roman coin, the Liberty cap, all the cool stuff by the house. This was 3 or 4 hunts in the field. And in the fall, after the harvest, when we go back, I'm super excited to see what else we're going to pull out of this field where sterling silver goes to die.
I love spots like that where we're finding. I mean, we could find anything from the last 2,000 years. Apparently,
Yeah.
we can find anything there.
Yeah, it was an amazing spot.
It is.
And like I said, the house next door that we did first, that supposedly probably has just as many, because that farmer said he's been finding them, for years while plowing. But we just did a quick run through because it was freezing. This farm and that farm touching, we might find another 100 of them in the fall.
Yeah.
So who knows? And property owner Cheryl was great, and she was enthusiastic, hunted the whole time with us. Got a few of them herself. I know she's going to be out there with us. It's going to be a fun, silver, dirty fall once this crops are out, Dougie.
Jason, I'm not sure about this here. You'll have to help me out. Was there a conversation when we were there about something about gold being found nearby? at an adjoining farm or something, or is that something that?
Matt can clue you in on that.
Mm-hmm.
Go ahead,
The story is that some of the was it Dome gang, right? Am I saying it right?
Yeah.
Had buried some of the gold in that area, and when they were doing some work, they had excavated a woolly mammoth, and when they were working on that, they found gold. Apparently, it was documented and that stuff. It's secondhand
Is
stories.
that during the Revolutionary War? The Dome brothers from the Revolutionary War?
Correct. That's the story I heard.
They were loyalists. They were loyalists, and they were robbing people, right?
Yep.
Yeah, the
It
bank.
would make sense in this thing. It would make sense in that area, but that's the story I heard. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, somebody, I forget if it was this property owner or someone that came and stopped by, but they pointed to like a big mountain off in the distance and said like, oh, that mountain is where they discovered a lot of the Dome Gang gold or something
cave.
along the lines.
It was a cave they found or something. I remember
in a
that.
cave or something like that.
Cool story.
Look, it's possible. We, I'm not saying we're going to find gold bars. I'd be happy finding silver spoons again. But it was such a fun place to hunt. And it'll be nice when you go back in the fall and we have more time to now open the machines up more and see what type of total selection of stuff we get, because we've been hunting, trying just for those high tones where mostly we're getting silver, brass, and copper, but to open it up and try to see who knows what kind of cool things we're going to find. It's going to be a real mystery. So, but that's it, Doug. I mean, we're going to try to cut it off a little shorter tonight, so we're not here forever. But before we go, I do want to remind everybody, if you weren't here earlier, like I said, next week we're going to have our good friends Ken, Tony, and Jeff on. They're going to be on the next live new episode of Expedition Unknown. It airs this coming Wednesday on Discovery Channel. At the moment, they're all under NDA. They're not allowed to talk about the episode, nothing. So the episode airs Wednesday. They're going to come on our show next Thursday, the following day, and we're going to spill the beans and go into what it was like working on a major network show with Josh and the crew, behind the scenes, what got edited out, all kinds of fun stuff like that.
Not too bad, though.
So that's going to be next week right here live on the show. And then 2 weeks later, we're going to have on Don Wildman, who was the star of all these Travel Channel shows, Mystery at the Museum, Buried Worlds. I remember those two specifically. Monumental Mysteries, Weird Travels. Don's been hosted and starred in more shows than I can count on two hands. So I'm excited to have him on and talk about, his favorite discoveries, what it's like working for major television networks and all that kind of stuff. So we've got some real fun upcoming quarter after shows coming up down the pike, Dougie. What do you think about that?
That's cool. And didn't you say he lived near you at one time?
Yeah. Once I reached out to him, I realized that he grew up 15. I mean, he's a little bit older than me. He's about maybe 6 years older, 7 years older than me. But he was born and grew up about 15 minutes from me.
Yeah.
In a small town in New Jersey. So I'm excited to have Don on. I've seen some of his shows before. I like his presentation. He's intelligent. He's well-spoken. He's been involved in so much stuff. He's going to have, I'm sure, some great stories. So that's going to be a fun one coming up in a few weeks as well. So with that said, I'll go around the room if anyone wants to do any last-minute things, any plugs, anything like that. I'll start with Lynn, only because I know Lynn is sitting in Letitz right now at the 25th annual Letitz Antique Show.
Yes, I am. It's all set
But if
up.
you'd like
Ready
to
to
plug
go.
anything else, Lynn, the floor is yours. And
I think you have.
I'm
said
even
all.
going to hold on, Lynn. Hold on. While we do the extras, I'm going to give everyone the full screen treatment. The floor is yours, Lynn.
Hey, what's that?
The floor is yours.
Oh, the floor. Oh my God. I think you said it all about Letitz. I think that
Is there anything else you can tell us about Letitz?
there's some great antiques there. Everything is, anywhere from probably 100 to 400 years old in that range. A real variety of stuff. It's not just, what I like. It's, there's other nice stuff. And so if anyone's in the area, stop by.
No, and where can you find the tits?
in Lancaster County.
I'm going to come to full screen so I can see the thing.
Lancaster County.
Yeah.
The 62nd annual Letitz Antique Show, Warwick Middle School, Letitz, PA. It's the whole weekend, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday.
No Sunday.
Just Friday and Saturday.
Yeah.
And
it's about 10 miles north of Blue Balls.
10 miles north of Blue Balls.
Thank you, Charlie.
Southwest of Intercourse,
Yeah.
Pennsylvania. But if you show up and see Lynn, she'll take a picture. You get a signed photo. And the picture of you with Lynn will air in our future show. So it's nice that she gives back to the community. Thank you, Lynn. Let's see. How about let's go to Charlie next. Charlie, any last minute thoughts? I'll give you the floor full screen, my friend.
You have to visit Lancaster County. That's all I can tell you. I'm telling you, you got to visit Lancaster County, Pennsylvania.
It's a strange,
great evening. I really had fun detecting in those fields down there. You never knew what you were going to find and dig, and it was pretty exciting to get all those spoons and forks. It really was.
Yeah.
Last night after midnight, this house is on like kind of a busy road. We could hear the Amish going up and down the road after midnight last night. I can't figure out what they'd be doing out that late.
Yeah. They even have headlights on those buggies. Do they have a headlight?
They have lights.
They have.
Well, that's how they got the name Men at Night. Sorry.
I wrote that joke.
Yeah, it sounds like a joke. Rich, I'll go to you. Any last minute thoughts, Rich? Anything you want to plug? Anything before we get out of here?
No, fun show as always, and I kind of can't wait to get back to that field now and see what else we uncover, because it was, I think we found multiple pounds of silver, and that's a great fun field.
Yeah, no, I agree. One of the best fields that we've been to, and the property owner made it all that more special that she was so good to us and was there along the whole way. She was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Matt, I'll go to you next. I'll give you the floor. You're the newer guy on the group. What'd you think of the field and the whole area?
I want to thank Cheryl. She was really nice. I mean, as far as a property owner goes, she was out there spraying our silver down for us, and you don't have that too often. So, I want to thank Cheryl. And that field was fantastic. So much silver and, coins. Can't wait to get back there in the fall. And thanks for having me on tonight.
That was a good field. That's a lot of fun. I'm excited to see what else that field's going to bring. I'm hoping that there's gold out there, but time will tell. So we'll see. Dougie, I'll give you the floor, full screen, Dougie.
Yeah, it was a fun discussion. It was a great field to be in. Great property owners who just made us feel so welcome and shared in our excitement. And looking forward to going back there. And the neighbors. We have a couple neighbors there that we're still hoping to do that I think will be equally as exciting. So
yeah, I agree. Especially the one neighbor that we gave him the Tiffany bracelet. I'm sure he'd let us back on. He was a great guy too.
Oh yeah. Well, he really opened the door. When I got him as the permission, and we went in there, he was super nice. Told us where to go and what to look for. Blah blah blah. Mm-hmm. We didn't find a whole lot, but because of the conditions, we kind of blew through there. But what really opened the door was the fact that he said his daughter had lost that Tiffany bracelet, and we were leaving. We were about to leave. Yeah, and when he mentioned that, he said, "Oh, I should have asked look for this bracelet. Well, you asked, well, do you have an idea where it was lost? And he pointed over in an area. 5 minutes, you found the bracelet.
Yeah, I got really lucky. That's not the norm.
And they were so excited.
Oh, yeah.
They went and told their neighbors.
They told the whole town.
They told the whole town before I door knocked. And when I met the neighbors who we just looked at the videos from their property, they said, "Oh, are you the guys that found the Tiffany bracelet?" So the word had already spread and made it so easy to get that permission. And it turned out there was tons of silver to be found.
Yeah, and it's led to other permissions coming up still that haven't aired. And it led to one that we're going to air in the fall where, you know, if people happen to look at my Facebook ever, there was another find by one of us. I'm not going to spill the beans.
No, and it's going to be cool.
So monumental that the news came out, did a whole segment on it. We're having people come in from out of state to do a mega thing in like September. So there's still more to come from this field that hasn't aired yet, but I don't want to spill the beans. But this field is we're going to keep coming back to this a little bit, maybe even before the harvest. So it's going to be one exciting adventure.
Yeah.
But we're going to get out of here, Doug. I think I want to thank everybody, you know, for hanging out tonight. If I didn't get your name earlier, I'll run through a couple. Oh, Wendy Olson, I saw she popped in earlier. Thank you, Wendy. Dixieland History, J Diggs History, Amanda Collins. There was a lot of them I tried to. Grandma Karen, how are you, Grandma Karen? Bart Cubbins. Everybody. Hot Mess Fishing, Alicia. If she did any moderating for me, usually we have a good crowd, but if she did, thank you, Alicia. The Cape Cod Father, our good friend Eric. I didn't see him pop in. Indie Aquatics, Dawn Griffin, Elaine Laney S., the French Creek Detector, everybody. Thank you all for coming in. But otherwise, we're going to get out of here. We're back next week talking about the brand new Expedition Unknown episode. Make sure you watch it. It airs this coming Wednesday at 9 o'clock. And we're going to do a deep dive on Thursday with the whole gang, minus Josh Gates. At least for now. I messaged him. We'll see. But, hey, thanks for watching, everybody. Happy hunting, and we'll see you on the next one. Later.
Good night.
Good night.
Night.